Here we go then. Good morning, everybody. We are underway in the Colorado Open Championship Sunday. Jordan Shepherd taking on Grant Berg to kick things off this morning.
And it's always fun on Trophy Day. Trophy Day is my favorite. It's hard to pick a fun day. We have the shootout on the first day. We have all the action on the second day, and then Trophy Day. It's very difficult to pick my favorite, but I got to think that Trophy Day is my favorite because the tension is so high.
Yeah, for sure. And it's only gonna get a little bit more tense as the day continues. Quite a few of our last 32 matches are already in the books.
Yeah, there's several players that are moving on to that final 16. I know East Texan Ray Reeves won his match over Mr. Marvin, and I know Joe Prince was victorious this morning as well. Chris Melling on his way to victory. Lots of good matches. I'm pretty excited for David Matlock and Chris Reinhold. That's coming to you next. So if you're watching now, make sure you go get something to eat and grab something to drink during the break in between matches, because you're not going to want to miss that one. And this is a interesting situation here. Sheppy not staying at the table there, giving Grant Berg, who played quite well the last time we saw him.
Yeah, good player. Watched him alongside Nate Kane, who's very familiar with Grant in the Kansas City area. He's a much improved player. Big money player. Doesn't usually do the whole tournament thing, but he's enjoying his experience here in Colorado so far. Watched him yesterday against Chris Reinhold, where he was beaten in the end, but showed us a little bit of what he can do, and I think that experience out there will help him coming into today. And watched a bit of his game in the losers qualification round that he had against Amy Beecham, which he played very, very well towards the back end of that match.
Oh no, that's the worst thing you want on the very first game of the set. Unfortunate for Grant, but Jordan Shepherd going to come to the table and do what he can do here. He's got a pretty simple layout. I highly expect him to get out here. Sometimes the first match of the final day can always be a little shaky. It's not the easiest thing to overcome, knowing that you're this close. Can be brain rattling for a lot of players. But one that's not going to have that issue is definitely Jordan Shepherd. He's been here tons of times. He knows what it takes to win one of these events.
Yeah, and worth pointing out that, you know, I said this yesterday with, ironically, I think with Grant as he played against Chris Reinhold. You know, sometimes you can make mistakes.
And the fields are only getting stronger with every event. I know in the juniors alone we have several very, very good contenders. Sophia Mast, obviously, Shane Petrick, Jordan Helfrey, Caden Herbach is still in, Brendan Green. There's a lot of good juniors at this event. Also, Sophia did a pretty remarkable feat, ending up in the finals of two championship matches last time, only falling to Caden Herbach in the juniors division. And she's still in the women's as well here, so she could be looking for a repeat, maybe a little revenge. I know she'd like to take home 2 titles.
Yeah, she's currently in the winners qualification round in the women's.
And nothing better than having to make space for 2 trophies in your suitcase.
It's going to get to the point where the Pink Dagger is starting to automatically take an extra suitcase along with her whenever she travels. All right then, Sheppy. What we got for us in this rack should be routine enough from here. Don't think he's going to do anything other than just accept distance on the one ball.
Head referee Scott Price, you see him there, keeping an eye on the shirt of Jordan Shepard. We do play all ball fouls, so making sure that there wasn't a touch of the shirt. Our referees do a phenomenal job here in the arena.
Yeah, that they do. Big shift for Scott and Mark this weekend. Both been fantastic as always at the International Referees Organisation.
I also think one of the many jobs that people don't see is our great cameramen, Andy and Luke. They really do work all day long, every day that they're here, and they do a great job as well. There's so much of a good team that we have here. It's really been fun to work with everybody. Jordan really doing a great job of getting out on that rack. It's going to be a 2-0 lead for the Welsh Wizard. Very, very nice person. Very respectable, enjoys his time over here. I think this is his first trip over here as well. And I know he's had a blast.
Jordan breaking dry here.
Oh, he made one. I didn't even see it in the corner.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
Oh, it went in so fast.
I actually, I don't even know if Jordan realised that, actually, because I was going purely off his body language and what I saw. I didn't see the first one go in. He didn't look particularly happy.
Yeah, it looked like he was about to move towards his chair, honestly, so maybe it caught him by surprise. Oh, look at this bank. That's a tough one to take on for an opener.
Yeah, and he's going to have to keep on digging here.
Not doing himself any favors.
Yeah, the two stripes are awkward by the entrance to the kitchen. I wonder what his plan is to disturb them, because I don't think he can manufacture them into a combo. So this could be the shot right here, and it's got to be a good one.
Oh, and he hit it good, but he didn't get much of a help on that. He
has a shot. He has a couple of options, actually. He can take the 13 long to the bottom right. He might even be able to cut the 10 in, but that's a tougher shot.
Yeah, it's kind of risk-reward. So you're tree-topped on the 8 ball on this shot, and I think that had a big deal with what just happened there. But taking the 10, you would have had no shot afterwards. So, I mean, he was really in a nasty spot.
My American pool parlance continues to expand. Tree-topped, I like that.
Tree-topped, sitting over a ball.
Yeah, we call that Chinese snookered in there.
Chinese snookered.
Yeah, or to continue the translation, Chinese hooked.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah. That's how it works over in good old Blighty. But I like tree-topped. Steal that one. Add it to the repertoire. Grant Berg must make this go, and I do think he still has a problem to navigate. I don't think the 4 passes to the top left, and if it doesn't, he's got an issue to work out.
Yeah, and the conditions are not great for Grant here to get out. The 4 balls in such a tight spot. But the conditions of this table are very nice. It's been a phenomenal weekend on this table. Very, very good venue we have here in Rec Room Underground. And honestly, the weather here in Colorado has been great. Oh, Grant really had a good opportunity there, but he had to throw the ball and work the cue ball a little, and it's caused him to miss.
Yeah, he would never miss that normally, and you can tell by the amount he's missed that, how much he was trying to throw it. Didn't quite get it right.
Yeah, and honestly, I think simplistic would have been better. I think he could have just played natural, really. I think sometimes you get under these lights with the cameras and everything, it can drive your nerves into a frenzy. I had a little bit of a conversation with Sophia Mass this morning as she came in with her coach Sam, and kind of asked her just a quick question as Jordan takes this rack down. He's going to go to a 3-0 lead against Grant. But I asked Sophia, I said, do you get nervous? I'm sure her nerves were more than just a little there, but
yeah, and I think that's a thing that will progress as she gets older. You know, it is really easy to forget because she's so mature and so good at the table and has achieved so much already. She is just 16 years old, and that is a very, very young age. It's something both of us can barely even remember being 16, I dare say, Stephen. But when you think about that, you know, there will be times when nerves get the better of Sophia because she is so young and still so inexperienced. But I think as she gets older and more mature, just in the game, she'll start to, I think, relish those nerves a little bit. You know, you see someone like Jordan Shepherd who's been playing tournaments since, you know, he could reach the table. You know, he might not get as nervous, but when he does get them, he knows it's go time, and he performs better on the big stages, and that is a part of what helps him, is those butterflies, is that adrenaline that gets released.
yeah, and Jordan's a very emotional player, as we saw in the shootout against Chris Melling, when he knew that he'd won it, which, by the way, was less than a second of winning.
Yeah, he plays with his heart on his sleeve, Jordan, and you know, he's a very, very popular player. You know, back in the UK, he's got a real following.
For good reason.
Yeah, I think if you asked a lot of people who their favourite player was, Jordan Shepherd would be right at the top of that list. And yeah, and one of the reasons people love him is because they can relate to him. He shows his human side. He's superhuman sometimes to what he does at the table, but he also shows us that he's a human with his emotions as well. He's got a shot to play here, mind.
I'll tell you, the fan base in America.
He's judged that brilliantly.
That was a great shot. A beautiful little bump on the 15.
Yeah.
His fan base in America has definitely grown.
I warned you, didn't I?
He was
Kansas
probably,
City. I said that. Well, you'd never seen him play in Kansas City. And I said, you might not know him now. You will.
Yeah, and I feel like there's more and more players like that, you know, not being introduced to Ultimate Pool because ultimately, pun intended, you know, we don't watch a whole lot of the Ultimate Pool from over there. You know, there's obviously a group that does, but
well, you know, let's get a little bit 1700s with it, US versus UK, and
I would love to see something like that in the works. I don't know if it is or if it can be, but
like our own sort of version of the Moscone, you mean?
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind that.
Scott Ryan, make it happen.
I think that'll be a very popular event.
Another thing I was really excited about is I did have a small conversation with Amy as we see Grant here at the table with an opportunity. I spoke with Amy yesterday, and we kind of talked about some of the female players. I'm a very, very big fan of the young lady from France.
Marion Jude, yeah.
She is phenomenal, and Amy agrees with me, and I asked her, I said, when do we get to see her? When's she coming over? And she said, well, you know, I've been trying to get her to come over, and if you ever get a chance to see her, she's, from what Amy says, she's just the sweetest person in the world, but she plays a scary, scary game.
Yeah, she's amazing. Oh, it's just unfolding a little bit for Grant. It's easy to happen, and again, without labouring on the point too much, I just go back to that first rack. A huge chance he was granted by Jordan Shepherd to go 1-0 in front, and the mistakes that Grant has made since have been, you know, sort of acceptable mistakes, really. There were tough shots that he's taken on and not executed, and, you know, you can live with that. But the one in the first rack, just feel like it probably spooked him a little bit as well. making such an error like that on a, you know, it's a big game for him out in the arena. Wouldn't be human if he wasn't feeling it a little bit.
Yeah, it's been rough for Grant. I'm going to steal a line from our good friend Jeremy out there. It's a pickle on a barn floor. You know what that is?
I do not know.
It's a dirty deal.
Ah, okay.
And Grant's really had to deal with a tough spot here. But he's going to get a shot back at the table. See what he can do. I like the way that Grant is playing this, but I think he's going to run into an issue here with the 7-ball.
You called it. I don't know if you expected the issue to arise so early, but there it is.
Well, it's so difficult to draw that ball. It was a long shot, and it's difficult to move it 2 or 3 inches. You can move it 10, and you can move it 0.1, but it's so difficult to draw a ball that's that far away, just a few inches.
Oh, has he got a line here? I'm not sure he has.
I don't think he does. I think he's gonna have to kick at this ball. He can see something. Watch out for the cue ball, because if it happens to squeeze by that 15, it's almost guaranteed to go into the corner pocket. I really like the kick behind. I think you can soft kick it and lay your 7 up on the 14. Got to hit it. Oh, well. The 10 ball being there is really going to hurt Grant, because it's almost an automatic breakout for Jordan. All he's got to do is find the angle.
Yeah.
Oh, and he actually took a different route, but he played it absolutely phenomenal. He's got the 14, the 10. Yeah, this is slowly getting a little out of hand. Grant just making little itty bitty mistakes that are just costing him the game. If you're a Grant Berg fan, you're probably sitting a little distraught in your chair right now, because the score is now 5-0. The man from Wells has come to play.
Yeah, they like to support, which is nice. There's a little bit of a fraternity. The UK guys. Grant with the break, and he is going to make a ball. It's a good break and a good chance as well.
Just needs to work out. His really only problem ball is going to be the 3 ball, and it's not really a problem. It's just simply getting a decent shot on the right side of it. Well, and he's making it a lot harder on himself.
Can you get through to the 3 now, though? That would help. You can.
I think he can.
Yeah, that's not bad. Wants to, if he can, get rid of the 5 earlier. Oh, I see how he's tried to plan that. Tried to take the 6 into the side, but he's short.
Well, he's still got an opportunity here. He can play the 5 in the corner past the 8 with just a nice touch and move across the table for the 4 or the 6. I think he needs to take the 5 here. He played that really well. I'm not going to fault that at all.
Yeah, and he can still... I do like the route that he's taken now that he's executed it.
I always get nervous when you're going kind of back and forth on the table.
Yeah.
I feel like...
I can see why. Yeah, I can see why.
Yeah.
I think his rationale there was because there was so much space on that side of the table. Was quite tough to go wrong. Oh, he's short. He's short. That's pretty unforgivable.
Well, and he can cut this in the side, and the natural path should send him up just around the corner in the top right. And all he's got to do is control the speed and not scratch, and he'll have a shot on the 8-ball. But it is a very touchy shot, and it's hard to judge the cut point when the ball is so close.
Yeah.
You see a lot of times people overcut the ball when the cue ball is very close to their work.
Digging down on this a bit as well, which makes it tougher.
I like the natural shot. He played it well.
He's played it really well.
Oh, he's making me nervous. I want to see Grant Berg do well, and his lines are just very, very scary as a spectator.
Yeah, he seems to have found his technique that he's happy with. He can be quite fickle on the break, and Jordan, but hand on the table, into that head ball hard. He seems to be pretty consistent, really.
Yeah, a couple balls down, and everything is so spread out, it's hard to think. I tell you what, if he keeps breaking like that, I don't know if he can be beat.
I said that yesterday about Justin Bergman. He was safely through, by the way. We've not really spoken about him much today. But he's already won his last 32 match. He won that 7-1 first thing this morning. He was done pretty quickly.
And a pretty good note there for Justin, because he's not one to enjoy playing in the morning, as am I. I do not like morning matches. But he is into the final 32. I'm sorry, the final 16.
It's a nice shot from Jordan. Perfectly set then to go on the hill for the Welsh Wizard. This was our viewers pick game from earlier on this morning. We asked you on the Ultimate Pool USA Facebook, what match do you want to see? And I think Jordan Shepherd certainly has his fans, and I think Grant Berg certainly has his fans as well.
Joven has a 1-game lead to Ricky Evans 0. Robert Moreno and Justin Bergman are waiting on opponents. Gabe Owen and Adam Cisneros, 2 players from the shootout. They've just started Gabe Owen up a game. Tom Cousins and Lucas Taylor scheduled soon. And Joe Prince and Ray Reeves already started. Joe Prince off to a big lead, 3-0. Chase Stumful and Sean Halleck are waiting on opponents from the prior rounds. I know Eric Picard and William Meacham are in a really tight battle. It's 4-5. And Tyrell Blowers just won against Jonathan Lopez as I'm staring at the bracket. Guys, if you want to go follow your favorite player, ultimatepoolusa.com/live-scoring. That's a live scoring with a dash in between. You can follow your favorite player. All have live scoring updates, so you can keep up with them minute by minute. And Grant here has a great opportunity at the table. And he absolutely has an opportunity to be in this match. All you can do is hold serve and hope that Jordan has a rough break or a flaw somewhere in the next game. Uh-oh, what happened here? Looks like we might have had a foul. We're going to give up ball in hand.
Not been his day.
And what I like to use is when it rains, it pours, and it really is pouring right now for Grant Berg. And Jordan Shepherd looking as confident as ever as he moves towards the final 16 of the Colorado Open. Just a little bit of the puzzle left to solve. I think he's got it. He's going to have a good line to the 3-ball here. And just holding there for, I believe he's going to shoot the 4-ball straight down. He'll have the cue ball in a good spot for the 6-ball. Something that Jordan does very, very well is just the simple shots. He's down on the 8-ball and through to the final 16 of the Colorado Open. Jordan Shepherd, the Welsh Wizard, beating Grant Berg, and we'll get a moment with him in the arena here in just a moment. Don't go anywhere.